call to order. This is a call to order of the first regular meeting for December 2021 of the Bridgeport Board of Education. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Secretary, would you call the roll?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. John Weldon,
Present.
Bobby Brown,
Present.
Sybil Allen,
Present.
Christine Baptiste Perez,
Present.
Albert Benahan,
Present.
Erica Castillo,
Present.
Michael Macaron,
Present.
Joseph Sokolovic,
Present.
and Joseph Lombard present.
Okay. I'm going to also note those student reps that are present. Joe, you don't have access to this because they sign in as they come in, so I'll just read it off. From Bassett High School, we have Ruth Cruz. Would you raise your hand? Okay. From Central High School, we have LaTanya Ferguson. From Fairchild Wheeler, we have Alina Khan. That was Fairchild Wheeler Arrow. From Fairchild Wheeler IT, we have Avery Fletcher. And those are the representatives we have here tonight. Welcome. Next on the agenda is something unique for tonight. This is the end of the 2017-2021 term of the board, those that were elected and or appointed in that time frame. And I thought it was appropriate that we acknowledge those folks and the time and effort they gave of themselves for this district. So I'm just going to go over here. Do we have Sosimo Fabian? Would you step up to the podium? Jessica Martinez? Ms. Martinez? Chris Taylor? And Hernan Illingworth. Okay, I guess it's just you, Sosimo. Hello? Okay. Presented to Sosimo J. Fabian. In recognition of your service to the people of Bridgeport, Connecticut, as a member of the Bridgeport Board of Education during the 2017-2021 term, your dedication to the students and staff of Bridgeport Public Schools, as well as to the community at large, is deeply appreciated. Presented by the Bridgeport Board of Education, December 6, 2021.
Thank you very much, Don. Hey, I just want to say thank you. It was really a learning experience for me to serve on this board. I just want to say real quick that I often catch myself abbreviating Bridgeport as BPT, which reminds me that and stands for me as be proud to live here, be proud to educate our children here. I am proud of both, and that's why I chose to give my time to this public service. Welcome to the new board. You have a wonderful opportunity to make a difference.
Great. Thank you, Sosimo. I know it wasn't always easy for you to participate, but you made the effort that you did, and we really appreciate it. Ms. Valia, you'll see that those plaques are delivered to the appropriate recipients. Okay. Next on the agenda is public comment. We have two people tonight. First is Joanne Kennedy.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to the people that won and the new people. Hopefully this coming 2 years with the new people that are on, that things will change. So far it hasn't, because you voted the same people back in for the chairmanship, vice chair, and secretary. Shouldn't make that much of a difference, but sometimes it does because certain people take the position to their head and they don't do the right thing for the children. You're here to do the right thing for the students of the city of Bridgeport, no matter who they are, no matter what color they are, where they come from, economic feasibility or no, they're supposed to be treated properly in every aspect. Every single one of you have a charge. You were sworn in, correct? To say, I will serve the children of the city of Bridgeport, Bridgeport Public Schools, okay? We do have charters, and all of those children are our children. So my thing is that I admonish you, every single last one of you, 9 of the board members, the superintendent, and the staff, to do the right things for the children of the city of Bridgeport, our students. I don't care what your name is or who you are or who you think you are. You need to do what's right for our children in the city of Bridgeport. We need to take care of our children. And if you cannot sit up here and be objective and vote right for our children, get the freak off. That's what I have to say. My comments are on the Board of Education. And you have the students sitting right here. I hope I hear them tonight because this is their school district. These are their formative years. Mr. Testani said, hi, Mr. Testani, how you doing? He said, living a life, living his best life. Great. I'm happy for you. I want you to live your best life. And I want our children to live their best life in their schools. I am heated about the fact that it seems like it's the status quo. Let's see how you vote. If you vote, it is an error, you vote in error with the children, with the students, because it's about them. It's not about us adults here. We have all graduated from high school, hopefully. Hopefully all you guys got some kind of education because you're on the Board of Education for our children. Do what's right by them.
Okay, Dr. Spell?
Good evening. My name is, and I'm up here as an actual Bridgeport parent. I have 2 concerns. The first one is that my daughter is a student athlete in the middle school. And I was informed this year that Coach Lofton was no longer over the middle school basketball system, that Caribe was over it. I went to register my child for the season. It was interesting to me to find out that you're asking an abundance of questions about personal stuff that has nothing to do with my daughter's playing basketball. How much I make, whether I be a donor, or even like what I do for a living, should not impact whether my daughter plays basketball for y'all or not. She went through the process. I did what I was supposed to do as a parent to ensure that, she does what she does. So I'm bringing this to the table because 1, us parents was not notified that there was a switch in the actual who was running this system. And 2, it wasn't explained to us why do they need all this information from us. So I'm asking the board to put that on your list for facilities, because I think it falls under facilities, and have that discussion. The second concern and issue I have, as a licensed therapist in the state of Connecticut, as well as the National Certified Counselor, today I have been addressing issues in the New Haven area due to active shooting and bomb threats. Last week, we had Norwalk, Hamden. This week, you had multiple schools in New Haven. Hamden's on lockdown, and there's no plan. I'm coming to y'all tonight as a parent that is concerned. This is close to home. I actually have kids in all those schools. I understand, but this is important. This is about the safety of our kids. I understand that we need to figure out a plan. When stuff like this happens, our kids are terrified. They have no clue if going back to school will look like something that happens across the country. I'm asking this board, once again, under facilities, that we need to start having strategy plans, because I do understand that when it comes to safety, right now, the kids are mandated to come back to school. I kid you not, and I'm telling you this on the record. Something happens in a school district, my child's not coming back, and she's not being faulted for that. okay? So with that in mind, for my young people, something happens in your school, y'all need to tell people. This is what's going on across the state, and I'm being serious. All right? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have approval of board minutes. We have one meeting, November 22nd, 2021, regular public meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Benahan. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Allen. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
Mr. Macaron abstains. I don't have anything personally to report. We're going to segue into committee reports and referrals. First one being ad hoc district-wide branding initiative. Ms. Brown?
I don't have an official report. I know that we are in process of finishing students submitting their ideas of what logos will look like. We'll have a better report on it once we decide committees.
Okay. Any referrals? Contracts Committee, nothing to report. It did not meet since the last meeting. Are there any referrals? Educational Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. That committee did not meet since the last meeting. Are there any referrals? Facilities did not meet since the last meeting. Are there any referrals?
Mr. Chair? Yes, Mr. Chair, I would like to prefer security protocols in light of what public comment was speaking about, just for the board. I know security sensitive issues can't be discussed in public, but we as a board should be
Okay.
able to be informed in executive session about security protocols surrounding such things.
Okay.
Just
Duly
personal
noted.
comfort, I guess.
I have a question actually for facilities.
Okay.
I don't know if this would be, but like,
But would you, if you want to state your name for the record so that the transcriber can keep track of who's talking?
yeah, of course. My name is Avery Fleckner. I'm from Fairchild IT. So what he was saying for securities and what they brought up, can we like enforce like the security of our students so we know definitely that there won't be threats and stuff like that, and also securing drills and stuff so we're all prepared? Because I know this is just for my school, and I know like they can schedule it whenever, but we haven't had a single drill all year so far, and it's
Okay.
December. So I don't know if this is the right facility to bring it up to.
Man is taking notes.
That's totally fine.
So he's gonna, I think, get in touch with
But
with
especially
principals, yeah.
for this, I feel I mean, anytime in general, but especially this time, kids should be prepared. Kids should know what they do, especially the freshmen who haven't been here before. They should know what's going on,
Okay,
and just to know we're safe at school and nothing will happen.
sure. Mrs. Testani, you're gonna address that? Okay.
Great.
Mr. Chair, could I add?
Ms. Brown,
Also, I was
can you
talking
turn your
to-
mic on?
I
Ms.
also-
Martinez,
Oh,
can we,
sorry.
go ahead. Let's
I
finish your
also
thought.
wanted to mention that one of the things that we mentioned in the last meeting was providing social media etiquette so we can properly track for the most part, because remember we talked about 9 times out of 10, we know who's sending out the posts. So having students feel safe enough to be able to report on it without them feeling like they're calling out a classmate in a sense, but creating a safe space for them to be able to do that. Because I know working in social media, it could be something from another school, but if we identify it quickly enough, we can actively make some decisions.
And also just being able to have somebody out there that they know, because I just know from my experience at my school, our counselors, to me, doesn't feel like an counselor I can go to talk to this stuff. It just feels like a schoolwork, college stuff counselor. So knowing we have a trusted adult, because some people don't want to go to teachers or their parents or somebody, just somebody straight for a school, can even be like a group of students put together to be like a safe environment, but someone
To oversee it.
yeah, to be open to you, to if you have, or like even an anonymous box, if you have a concern about a kid, having something to be able to do without
Absolutely.
like saying something.
Absolutely.
So that's just my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to take the liberty of breaking from the agenda to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Martinez, who is here. presented to Jessica Martinez in recognition of your service to the people of Bridgeport, Connecticut, as a member of the Bridgeport Board of Education during the 2017-2021 term. Your dedication to the students and staff of Bridgeport Public Schools, as well as to the community at large, is deeply appreciated. Presented by the Bridgeport Board of Education, December 6, 2021.
Thank you.
I guess. My service to Bridgeport has been all of my life, and I will remain dedicated to being the change that we need. Whether elected or not, as long as you encourage your neighbors to make sure that they put their voice and their action where it belongs, what I do is for each one of you. My son is the senior year in Bassick, and it's not easy, but my heart will always be with Bridgeport, and I know we could do it. And I know we could do it with, it just takes everybody to link up together and remove politics and put the children first. The children are what matters. They're our future. And so it's bittersweet, and hasn't been it's not easy. It's kind of, hard, and the journey is bumpy, but no matter what, I know who I am. I know what I represent, and I represent you all and my neighbors, and I will continue to do that. So I appreciate the time that I had, and I'm still here if anybody needs me.
Please feel free to stay. Okay, carrying on. Next on the agenda is the Finance Committee. Anything to report, Mr. Skolovic?
Meeting.
Okay. Any referrals? Governance has not met since the last meeting. Anything further to refer to it? Personnel did not meet since the last meeting. Are there any referrals? Students and families.
We didn't meet last month, Mr. Chair, because I was out of the state for personal things, but we're gonna have the next meeting December 16, 2021 at Central High School Library at 5 o'clock.
Okay, any referrals? Lastly, teaching and learning.
Again, no meeting in the interim.
Any referrals? Okay. Superintendent's report.
Mr. Chair, point of personal privilege, but I'm not sure if it's still probably one. Can we get a mask from Ms. Martinez if she's going to sit?
I'm sorry,
Can we get a mask from Ms. Martinez?
do you have a mask? Is there one available? Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of updated items I think are worth mentioning. Prior to Thanksgiving, Bridgeport Public Schools held its second community event. We gave out over 300 two-day family meal kits, 300 fleece blankets, almost 400 coats to children and families, 50 school supply kits, and 50 ShopRite gift cards to families that were identified by school social workers in need during the holiday season. On December 22nd, we will give out toys from the toy drive that we're currently doing. Our goal is to exceed last year's 300 toys to get to 500. If anyone would like to donate toys, please contact the Office of the Superintendent for more information on how to donate toys to this year's Superintendent's Toy Drive. Last week, organization called SAWA, partners with Billy Blanks Jr., held 6 live events, 2 at Bassick on Wednesday, 2 at Harding on Thursday, and 2 at Central on Friday. To kick off their promotion of wellness for our special needs students at the high schools. They were exciting, electrifying, and kids really enjoyed themselves. They got into it. and they were able to sign up for the free online platform where they can participate in over 1,000 classes, classes that are given by people like Paula Abdul, Mike Tyson, from dance to all different types of physical activity that they can do from home. We're also looking to bring some of the instructors into the school buildings to be able to provide free online, free in-person classes for the special needs population at our high school. So great 3-day event. No, Dr. Rayola is here, probably could speak to what his kids, the feedback they received over at Bassick on Wednesday. The Luckett Foundation, who's headed by Walter Luckett, a basketball legend here in Bridgeport, providing free virtual 12-week SAT courses for juniors starting this week. And we have 80 students who are registered to participate. Also through Walt Luckett's facilitation, we are doing and working closely with the Westchester Knicks. If everybody's not aware, the Westchester Knicks, the G League team of the New York Knicks, NBA franchise, is playing this season in Bridgeport. They are partnering with the district to host Bridgeport Public School game night or afternoon. We haven't nailed down the date yet, sometime in January or February when they return from their long road trip, and that will be at Webster Bank Arena. More details will be available once they become final. Last week on Wednesday, we held a trade fair at Central High School in the auxiliary gym. We had representatives from all the building union trades. We had students from Bassick, Harding, and Central. 120 participated, listened, and were able to ask questions that were interested in possible careers in the building trades. Bridgeport Caribe youth leaders, as part of their partnership with Bridgeport Public Schools, completed their Success 2.0 first session last Thursday evening. Thank you to Ms. Perez, Baptiste Perez, and Mr. Benhan for attending. The culmination event where kids presented their action plans. They were quite impressive, and the next session will be expanded to include high school juniors. Max mentoring program has officially kicked off as well, so we have our Max mentors back in the public high schools, working with our students. That is long awaited since the pandemic. We have begun our home visiting program that was approved by the board in conjunction with RIASAP. We are now expanding that to include staff members who are interested in making home visits to do outreach to parents of students that are at risk. Right now, our student success team has already made over 100 referrals to the home visiting program. As part of that LEAP money that we approved last month, you can see on the billboard on 25 and I-95, Bridgeport Public School attendance billboard. We're also in the process of developing, I know Ms. Brown is working closely this week to develop our second billboard that'll go up as well. We've also handed out to all our schools banners that are being displayed throughout the schools to promote good attendance throughout the district. And we have 2 district-wide events coming up, one on December 8th virtual and one on December 11th at the Cardinal Sheehan Center. Families that attend and complete their FAFSA are eligible for a $75 gift card to Stop and Shop and a $25 gift card to Amazon. The virtual event will have opportunities for students to join breakout rooms with college admissions counselors and financial aid counselors to get one-on-one support to complete their FAFSA. The in-person event will have a computer lab available at the Sheehan Center for FAFSA completion, with representatives also on site to provide support. We have a DJ from a local DJ that's going to be there promoting the event, and food will be provided by Vazzi's. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions for Mr. Testani?
Yes, I have a question coming, Mr. Testani.
ahead.
You said December 22nd at Toy Drive. It's going to be exactly in Central High School. What time?
I believe it's from 10 to 12.
Okay.
No, we switched it to the evening, so it'll be from, I believe, 5:30 to 7:30, but I'll double check. Because we
Okay.
just switched from Saturday and we pushed it out to get more opportunity for donation.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, any other questions?
Ms. Chisani?
Ms. Castillo?
I believe Avery had a question that she wanted addressed, and we passed it to you, but got distracted.
Oh, you have something to,
Right, is your name Avery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, did it?
Just having drills in general.
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to make sure that it was addressed for you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay. Old business, there's none to be transacted. New business, at the request of the superintendent, I'm going to seek a motion to move item A, discussion and possible approval to advance pre-K student GR to kindergarten, to the bottom of the agenda.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Benahan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Sakalovic. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so that will be the last thing we discuss. Next is item B, discussion and possible approval of subaward agreement between Bridgeport Public Schools and Regional Youth Adult Social Action Partnership for Barnum Elementary School. Who is here to present for this? Is this Ms. Clark?
Ms. Clark's here, yes.
Okay. You've got to press the button there on the mic.
It's on. Good evening, everyone. We have two contracts. You should have received a draft document
Yes?
for Bassick High School, and one is for elementary school.
Okay.
Schools have received school improvement grants in the conjunction of creating those proposals that went to the state. There was an indication that they were going to work with RIASAP to make sure they were going to complete certain services under their climate and culture banner. That is a requirement under the school improvement grant. Under Bassick, which they've received $400,000.
Are we talking about Barnum or Bassett?
I'm sorry, both of them.
So both agreements are substantially the same?
Yes, correct. And they're both trying to contract services from RIASAP essentially for the same thing, wraparound services.
Continue.
So under the Bassick banner, we are asking for your approval of $190,184 subcontract for RIASAP.
Okay.
And under Barnum, we're asking for, out of their $350,000 award, a $149,215 award to RIASAP.
Okay.
If you would like some additional information about the services proper that RIASAP will be providing, or what the principals are expecting at their schools, they're all here to provide additionally.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oliver?
Yeah. Has this been vetted by contracts committee?
No, this
Seems
is
like a lot of things
this
are
is a
coming.
similar agreement that we approved a couple of meetings ago. And they needed to get these done right away, so I just pushed them right to this.
Because I'm finding a lot of things are coming directly to the board. without being
I've
vetted.
mentioned that to the
Really?
staff. I have mentioned that to the
I
staff
think we really need to
because of
buckle down.
this.
Right.
Okay?
And, okay, and as far as this contract, again, with, on page 5, we got, again, with the mediation and court proceedings, have we looked into it since the last time to try to cover our costs? It's not a question for her.
Did you touch base with the city attorney regarding binding arbitration?
Yes, and based on the last draft that we've actually discussed in the meeting today, this could be removed if it is an absolute requirement.
Wait, could you repeat
Wait,
that
no,
again?
no, like you have mediation in here, non-binding mediation. But a couple of meetings ago, Mr. Sakalovic was talking about inserting binding arbitration.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yes, no, that did not come up in today's conversation.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Can we just look at that for future, definitely for future contracts?
Okay.
Because it seems like if we have arbitration, and they don't like this thing, they don't like the result, we got to go to court, and then we got to pay lawyers' fees, and we end up in a position where we have to settle, and this is something that happens on a constant basis.
Please look in, specifically ask that of the city attorney's office.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay,
I have a question. How soon does
Baptiste
this
Perez.
have to go forward? You just mentioned that it has to go forward soon, but how soon?
Yes, immediately. We received the award from the state recently, but it's expecting that it's a start date of 7/1. It's backdated,
So this,
7/1/2022,
2021.
this is delayed.
This is delayed, yes.
delayed by how much time?
Just based on how the proposal under review, and we just received our notice of award with an indication of a start date of 7/1.
Okay, so we just received notice of reward,
Correct.
just,
Well,
but we're being pushed to push it right now immediately without any further discussion or conversation? Could it be held off till next month, potentially?
if that is the wish of the board,
I mean, if we just received notice, I don't see how the immediate push for a vote right now. I'm trying to understand the timeline.
because the award is backdated to 7/1, the expectation and the implication is that the services and the project is starting at these schools, which includes RISE.
So this has already started?
Based on the notice of award that we received, they have a 7/1 start date.
So they physically started?
Well, we're waiting for your approval of the contracts, yes, but the pre-work to make sure that we can start moving. Can't begin.
Can anyone on the contracts committee discuss
So I can help give some
Yeah.
clarification. This is routine with the state of Connecticut, that monies are delayed in awarding, but services are expected to begin.
Okay.
So we should have been noticed of this award prior to July 1st, but it's routinely delayed, as it was again in this instance. And because RISAP has similar contracts doing similar work at other schools, both principals felt that it would be an important component to providing wraparound service is to meet the needs of their school populations as what's going on at Harding, currently, and over at Luis Munoz Marin. So this is just a repeat of prior contracts that are services that are being implemented by RISAP at those schools successfully.
Okay, so we were supposed to receive notice about 6 months ago. We just received it now.
Recently, yes.
Can you clarify what recently is? Is it December?
So it would have been actually maybe in the middle of November, I'd have to go back.
Yes, a couple of weeks ago.
So these documents were prepared and we were waiting for the next meeting.
Motion to table this to next month for further consideration. We can talk about it at the next meeting.
There a second?
A second for the sake of discussion. Will this delay implementation of any essential services that are absolutely necessary, or will it put the grant in jeopardy?
So yes, it will cause some issues with our reporting. Again, the state is expecting, even though they were delayed in giving us the notice of award, the project is going to go from 7/1 to 6/30/22. So you wait a little bit longer implementing those services, that means that we're not up to speed with where we're supposed to be. And it's going to have some, implications with reporting and how far we've gotten.
Can you turn your mic on?
That would make us out of compliance with the grant.
We would have some issues with explaining why we're so delayed, even though it's not completely our fault, and I understand everybody's comments and concerns, but in making sure that we're implementing things as quickly as we can, we need to move as quickly.
So just for discussion, it's not completely our fault with the terms of the delay for the program, but it's still being backdated. I would still want additional time to just look over it and to actually consider it, because it does seem like a significant amount of funds. And so I think in the interest of fairness, if they had a 6-month delay and we're just taking 1 month to make sure that everything is correct, I think that's a reasonable thing, especially since there is no arbitration provision within it.
Anyone else?
I would like to ask the principals to share what the impact would be on a delay for the buildings, because one of the things that becomes an issue is that as Bridgeport Public Schools, historically, we advocate for more funding, and the state turns around and their view of it is you ask for money, we give you the money, and you should have uses for that money immediately, which we do. They were in the planning process before the award. That's why this is important to their execution of services, but they're more than happy to share with you what any delays could potentially cost them in terms of working with students and families.
If you don't mind, I'll go first. I'm Christine Booth. I'm the principal at Barnum School. Thank you all for allowing me to speak. And I totally respect and understand you're wanting to have more information. Unfortunately, since none of us had the control over the timeline, because I think it was right before Thanksgiving, it was not even weeks that we found out that we were awarded. It really comes down to making sure students are in classroom. For me, having the 2 additional full-time staff members for conflict resolution allows me to increase the amount of time students are in classroom. It takes us, students may have to wait, and I give them time. We want to listen to them. I want to hear them. I want to create problem solvers. And so these 2 staff members, the restorative practice facilitator and the student success advocate, a social worker, will enhance my team to be able to do that. So there is an urgency because we are already at December. We already are in our 4th month, and students have needs. And while I have a wonderful staff, I even have a staff member here who goes out of her way, outside of her role, and she may be able to realign some of her focus because she does some of this stuff.
Dr. Raiola?
Thank you. Good evening, Joe Raiola, principal of Bassick High School. Congratulations to the new board members. Welcome. The pandemic has done a lot for to our kids. This wraparound service that we're trying to get into place is really going to help provide 4 additional staff members for services to our students. They're going to be able to receive some additional social work. There's also going to be the restorative component of it as well, if there's any conflict within the building. Currently, we're running real thin, and these 4 members are going to help to alleviate some work from everybody and make the climate a little bit better. When you're running a building and you don't have enough staff members as is to be without these additional 4, it puts additional stress on the building, and that climate carries through the building. So these 4 members that we're going to bring on are going to help improve the climate just through the amount of work that they're going to take on to help our kids.
Would the staff member like to speak?
I just know that pushing it a month away will not help us. And coming from someone who's active in the community, active in her school building, I coach the kids, I go out of my way. I love my job. I love Bridgeport. Everybody knows me, Shayna Taylor. And we really, really could use this help in our building right now. It's really, really important. Ms. Booth is trying her best, but some things we just lack at. And additional resources would just complement all the things we're trying to do moving forward, especially during this school year. So delaying on this is delaying on the success of one of our students, multiple students. So thank you for joining. I know some of you guys just got here, but this is something that's been in the works. And we're just trying to push forward with it because it's really going to make a difference in our building. A lot of the teachers are so excited. We learned about this the beginning of the school year. And I could tell you the relief from all the teachers in the building when they heard that this was going to be implemented. And we just been waiting on it. So you guys would be a part of that solution and just relieving the stress of half of us and just making things better in our school and functioning for our children. Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Brown?
I don't necessarily have a question, but
Would you turn your...
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting about this. I know the process is like dire need, but I also want to keep calling to the fact that this is during COVID, and we're trying to adjust to the school. So whatever way we decide to go, I want to applaud you guys for even making this happen and putting in the effort, because I think we look at it like at the end of the day, we are here for the kids. And we do value process, so let's make sure this isn't a habit for going forward and that we do properly go through our
Again, this came at right before Thanksgiving, and there just wasn't time to be having a committee meeting and have it on the agenda for tonight. So I just put it on for tonight so that the full group could talk about it if people want to take more time to digest it. There's a motion on the floor to table to the next meeting. Do you want to vote on that?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'm comfortable moving forward on the contract at this time, so I would be voting no on the table.
So you want a table?
No, no table.
What do you want to do?
Move forward.
Move forward.
Move forward with the contract.
So are you going to withdraw your second?
Second.
Hang on.
Point of order.
Back up.
Point of order,
Are you-
Chair. Point of order.
Go ahead.
We vote on it. He can vote to not table it.
Okay,
And
we can
then
do it that
we
way.
go back to the original motion.
Okay.
That's how.
Oh, there can go a lot of ways. But all in favor of tabling this item? All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we're not going to table it. We're going to vote on it tonight. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to add one thing. If it wasn't a contract we already had entered into an agreement with and the urgency, it would not be before the full board tonight. We would have followed the channel as we did with the previous RIASAP contracts. But because it was mimicking identically, that's the only reason why it's here tonight. And I just want to,
Yeah.
make that clear to everyone.
Yeah, a very similar agreement was approved here 2 meetings ago. For which school?
We have Harding and Marin currently at play and very successfully implemented so far.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I address the board.
Sure. State your name for the record.
My name is Mark Donald, and I'm the Executive Director of RIASAP. And just would like to add that Mr. Testani and I began conversations about the project we started at Marin prior to the pandemic. And that was done on independently raised funds by RIASAP. And it's still being done on independently raised funds by RIASAP. And we are committed to it. And I think as we saw last year with the implementation of what we were hoping was going to be a pilot, was not a pilot year because of the pandemic. However, the urgency of this project took on greater and greater. And as we did in consultation with the principal over at Marin, we designed the program, and we're seeing that this youth need is increasing by the day. We see it in the news, we see it in action and behaviors and conversations with security guards. And in addition to this, with approval of the contract, myself, I'm a former middle and high school principal in the Bronx and New Haven. I have independently fundraised for a director of school programs who has his 092, who was a high school counselor and a middle school dean. In addition to these, and what you see on the contract here, we have the support of my Street Safe Gang Intervention and Gun Violence Prevention Team. We have the HUB, Substance Abuse Addiction Prevention and Education and Advocacy Team. We have other programs, including the Juvenile Review Board team, and all these are done in kind based on other sources of funding that we bring to the table. And the sense of urgency that we hope to bring to the product is at full awareness of risk to myself. We've already started training staff members to take on this opportunity, and we're going to continue working and building relationships with the youth in Bridgeport throughout the break. And I think the urgency and the opportunity for us to get going, especially based on the early results that we've seen both at Marin and Harding, where we've done similar work, where we're trying to build capacity in the youth, trying to build capacity within the staff, but also support urgently the mental health needs of students and families. And with that in mind, we're prepared to begin as soon as the contract is signed. If not, we're still going to continue working and training our people so that when you're ready to go, that we're ready to address youth and family needs across Bridgeport. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agreement related to Barnum Elementary School?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Benahan, second by Ms. Allen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Is there a motion to approve the agreement related to Bassett High School?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Benahan, second by Ms. Allen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remaining items to be discussed is discussion and possible approval to advance pre-K student GR to kindergarten. This item may be discussed in executive session as a confidential student matter. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the subject item?
So moved.
So moved.
Is there moved by Ms. Brown? Is there a second?
Second.
second by Ms. Baptiste. All in favor? I'm going to get to that in a minute. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Those present in executive session will be the members of the board. Superintendent Testani, are you bringing any staff with you?
Yes, Ms. Newton, principal at Howland School.
Okay. Irene Newton.
Irene.
All right. We are recessing to go into executive session. Time is noted as being 7:20 PM. Are we still going here to the right? Or are we going back here?
Let's go in the back.